Hi, this is an impromptu video. I had a thought while I was watching YouTube. I was relaxing and watching watching an influencer, so to speak. She became big on TikTok, and she had what people describe as a manic phase. I don't want to mention her name or whatever, but I was reminded of her because somebody I subscribed to on YouTube um, mentioned receiving something that she had made, something creative that she had made, and it reminded me. I looked up. I wanted to know how she got to be famous, how she lived in this posh area where she lives. Meanwhile, I've wanted to live in a place like that all my life. And I was wondering, I thought back, um, I've typically attributed my um, my feeling stuck in life to lack of resources. But to be honest, to be honest with myself, I've also been relatively comfortable. I've thought about this before, like years ago. I've wondered, it may sound strange to hear this. I've wondered if I've been comfortable enough not to feel the need to move off or to make drastic changes in my life. Um, I thought about this years ago when I was thinking about moving to Los Angeles or fantasizing about moving to Los Angeles. Um, I've read about Harlan Ellison. I've mentioned in my prior video. He moved at a young age. I don't remember how old he was, but he just got up and left as soon as he could, and he went from job to job to job, finding some way of earning money. Typically, he would type at his typewriter and he would sell articles or short stories to various publications, and he was paid by the word. Um, I don't think I could be able to live comfortably like that. Um, and I can imagine Harlan Ellison saying, "Well, nobody lives comfortably like that." Um, there's a thing about me and comfort where I like to have things secure for me. Um, and maybe I don't want to call it a drawback because it's good. It's healthy to want to be in a an environment that's comfortable for you. Um, I thought about this TikToker's manic, apparent mania. Um, I've never experienced anything like that. I'm relatively calm. Um, I have creative interests. I'm passionate about certain things. I'm motivated about certain things. But I'm another thing comes to mind when I'm writing. When I think about my writing, my artistry, I I look at it sort of with a critical eye too, and there's this sense that, do I measure up against other artists yet, or do I have a good shot at something? And that reminds me of Madonna. My impression of Madonna, my guess is that she would say, it's like if she were to give me advice, or she would um, whisper in my ear, she would perhaps say that you should just go, 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 rather than being concerned about whether it measures up or not. Um, there's a phrase, fail upwards, or there's another concept of just keep going and keep going despite what other people think. And actually, come to think of it, I remember reading reading something that somebody wrote, where it was probably a blog. I was reading somebody's blog, and she mentioned something that Madonna had said, similar to, just keep going despite what other people say about you. And thinking back, I have been, um, um, concerned about what other people think about me. It's weird because I perceive myself as going forward and um, not caring. Maybe I should describe, maybe I should delineate what I mean by that. It's like I brush away. I'm not trying to conform to what they want. I have a good, healthy sense of independence. I create what I want, and that's it. I do what I want. Um, then comes this thought about whether I can be able to make it, whether it's realistic. Like if I have a plan, I think through, is this realistic? What are the outcomes? I think in long term, and my mom would think the same way. She would caution me when I would be talking about wanting to move out, and especially move to Los Angeles. She would mention, oh, don't go out there. She would mention the crime. She would mention the high costs. She would mention all these different factors. And that's true. And I reasoned it out. And I understood those were legitimate concerns. I'm also aware that she may have been saying that. Well, one factor was probably um, her not wanting me to leave her alone. And I'm glad that I didn't leave her alone. I mean, I'm. It's weighing different things. It's like some part of me is glad that I didn't leave her alone. Um, no regrets about that. Um, However, I do have regrets that I couldn't be able to make something more of my life. So anyway, back to this TikTok influencer. Um, so she's in a nice posh place. It's like she's one of those people that I don't know how she did it, but she somehow kind of fell. She would probably say that she worked hard for it, but it's like I watch. I haven't watched a lot of her. I've just seen this one documentary, and I've read little or heard little snippets about her. Um, I'm not following her. I'm not, and none of that. It's just somebody who talks like that. How did she wind up? How was she able to wind up there where I want to be? I have this strong sense, ingrained sense of earning. You get what you earn. It's not democracy. It's I can't think of the word right now, but it's like you have to earn it. Um, and I feel like I feel like I have the credentials or some of the credentials to at least make it part way there. But how come I'm stuck here and she's gone there? I mean, is it because she was more out, like loudmouthed than I am? Was it a generational thing? Um, was it because of my mom's ability to give me only certain resources? I don't know. Um, I don't know, but I am envious of people like that. Um, I think I talked through what I wanted to do. Um, I did as a lark. I well, it's not exactly a lark. It's with my cross dressing. I felt an urge to develop something further out of it, and that's why I'm mentioning it. It's not just something that I thought about this morning. It ties into this video that I was this topic I was talking about. Um, Yesterday, as you can see from those videos I uploaded, the several videos I uploaded, I enjoyed playing that role. I want to develop it further. I want to do something with it. Like I had thought about being an onstage magician in college, and I now more recent times I thought maybe under the name Samantha Crossdressing. Um, Samantha I took from the character Samantha Stevens in Bewitched, so it kind of makes sense if I did go into being a stage illusionist, Samantha the Witch or something. I see um, I see a strong talent in what I'm doing, and there's a passion that drives me to keep doing it. Same way with screenwriting, script writing, and creative thought, creative storytelling. Um, I just wish, all right, YouTube channel or no, I'll just, camera on me or not on me right now. I'll just say I wish that I could have taken those stories, that drive, and made something more out of it in my life. And that's why I'm envious of people like that TikTok influencer. Um, anyway, I think I've mentioned all that I need to. Um, I want to mention, okay, so the lark part of it. So this morning at work, I thought about possible ways that I could do it as more of a career, or more terms of acting. I've seen, all right, there are drag queens, there are like casual transvestites, and there are female impersonators. Now, I don't know if I look like a particular female celebrity, um, but I admire the female, above all these different ones, I admire the female impersonators the most because um, they try their hardest. They take it very seriously to look the part and to get the right clothing and to get the makeup to look just right. And they're pretty convinced. Well, for the most part, they're as convincing, I think, as they can be. Um, it like they try to with um, as much as they can, like as much makeup or as much artistry behind it, they try and look as close to normal for a woman as possible, as opposed to drag queens who exaggerate their features, female features, and lots of makeup all over. I don't want to necessarily do that. I want to create a feminine appearance, like I'm acting in a role. So, um, although practicing my female voice has helped a little bit, probably with singing, my singing voice, I haven't I haven't been professionally trained as a singer. I don't think I could make it as a singer. Um, Dancing, I don't have any background in dancing. I don't think I could compete. And that's why I didn't go into acting. I went into screenwriting. I love, excuse me, I love screenwriting, but it's why I never, it's why I never seriously thought about acting. I was in the Claytown Players in like 1987. Um, I think a couple of years or just one year. And I remember some kids from my elementary school were there. I still have a T-shirt that has the signatures of all the people in there. Uh, I'm very sentimental. I keep all those souvenirs. Um, and I remember we were in there were two plays put on. There was a at the Zog building. Uh, the younger kids were in, um, was it the Artful Dodger, I think? And then the older kids were in the Pirates of Penzance, if I remember correctly. Um, I definitely remember Pirates of Penzance being for the older kids, and I think us, um, I think we, the younger kids, were in the play, The Artful Dodger, I think. Anyway, other than that, and um, barely being in perhaps some middle school plays, somewhat maybe. I don't really have any acting background. However, uh, cross-dressing, to the extent I've taken it so far, does does entail quite a bit of acting. I mean, I've gone out, I've gone to grocery stores and restaurants a few times, and synagogue a weekly basis for a while, up until very recently. Um, that entails acting, and I'm told that I look pretty good. I'm told that I mean, pretty good. I'm told that I am. I don't even want to say passable because that's a high bar, but I'm. I'll say pretty convincing or somewhat convincing, something like that. Like I'm. At least I'm on the right track. They say something more than that, but I'm deflating it just in case they are biased. And same way with likewise with my feminine voice. And you've seen me on this channel. Think what you think. Um, so that takes talent, and I do believe it is a talent. It's just a matter of finding something, finding a niche. So I thought about acting as being something. There's stand-up comedy. There's at least one I saw on Amazon Prime. Um, there was a stand-up comedian who was a cross-dresser, and let me see what there's basically singing. There's female impersonation, which involves a lot of singing or whatever singing or dancing or theater, and you can't really do anything. It, you can't be an effective entertainer if your shtick is writing stories. I mean, you can sit there writing, but nobody's going to watch that. Um, I think as aside from this, I've sorry, um, this is the raw me, right? I don't even do this in front of my friends. Not that you're my friends. No, I don't even do this person to person in a room with my friends. Um, anyway, I've mentioned to a coworker a few times that I think I have a good speaking voice and I could be a good radio talk show host. I just think it's very competitive and I wouldn't stand much of a chance. Um, I could go on about that. All right. So, theater seems to be the one thing I might have a shot at. So, I went home and I checked through the name of my town or city and just opened it up a bit wider. Name of my city and um, crossdresser acting or film. Um, and um, I got one audition thing. I don't want to say, well, I got one audition um, this Saturday at 10, which would be good experience. I don't think I would get anywhere because it turned out afterward it's more of a school for acting training, but at least it would be good experience just auditioning on femme, like as a woman. Um, it, just get the experience. And then I looked up. Let me see. I looked up and just happened to find an article in the Hollywood Reporter for transgender talent dot agency, and I decided to email them. I was very upfront in the subject line. I put crossdresser. First of all, in the article, it said something that was so wide, even though it says transgender. I mean, this day and age, transgender is so wide anyway, wide in terms of how it could be applied. It said something like any transgender, non-conforming, gender open, some non-binary. I mean, that's pretty broad. So I figured, okay, they would accept. They would be open-minded, probably, to at least read my email and judge would we accept this person or not. So I put in the subject line crossdresser interested, and then I complimented them on enabling non-conforming um, people, being a voice for them. I don't want to take the place of somebody who would deserve it more than I. I'm that way just in general. Um, and I I said I'm a crossdresser, and I don't and I my passion was in screenwriting, and I have my degree in television, radio, film, um, and I've been doing cross dressing for 2 years, and when I've asked friends, um, a good you know good number of friends, they've all said that I look um, varying words that I look pretty good, like anywhere from amazing. I'm trying to deflate what they've said, but they've said basically amazing, or that I would pass, or I would pass easily, or do I look feminine enough or whatever? Oh, sure. Like, in fact, the person that I did a park walk, and then we went to the mall, and I asked her how well, how close would I be to passing, and her facial reaction was something like, it was so obvious, like, how does she find it's so clear, how does she find words, and then she said, oh, you're golden. um, and I remember another time I was at synagogue, and there was somebody who identifies as male. She was born female. I I don't want to get any further about what what her life is like. I'll just say she was born female, and she's clearly looking female, but she identifies as male. She goes by a male name. Um, and she said, oh, so busy trying to talk about her. Um, yeah, I asked, um, how about my mannerisms? Do I seem feminine? Do I appear feminine? Not just how I look, but how I walk around and behave and so forth. She definitely agreed. Um, and then of course there's that podcast that I did. I'm still debating whether to mention it. It still hasn't been posted yet. I have faith that she'll post it at some point, this person who runs this podcast. But I talked through the whole hour uh, in feminine voice, and she seemed pretty convinced. In fact, she said, okay, just for a moment, talk in your normal voice. I mean, she was that. She, She was that kind of convinced, apparently. So I spoke in my normal voice, and then even then, she said something like if she were calling in or she were at a checkout place somewhere, or if she just heard the voice, um, she wouldn't be certain whether it was male or female, which is weird because I think my voice sounds pretty male. You be the judge again. You be the judge of this, but I think my voice is pretty male. Um, but I've heard from someone else who's been a close friend who's also identifying as the opposite sex that uh, my voice naturally has inflection, and I've noticed it. I'm aware of it. I thought that was normal for everybody. Um, Apparently, men tend to speak in a monotone voice. I attribute my natural inflections to being more emotive. And although I didn't say this in the email, I said I'm naturally emotive, and this cross-dressing and the experience, the little experience I've had, um, I think I might be a good actor, and I worded it this way at the end in the closing, like, here, I'll include some recent photos. Tell me what you think. I didn't say tell me what you think, like word for word. It wasn't exactly what I put, but like I've attached some photos. I just wondered whether, what my chances. I think that I put it more like I'm just wondering what my chances are. And I put thanks, and I put my name, and my in quotes I put Samantha. Um, so I'm looking forward to getting some reply, one way or the other. It'd be interesting if they are persuaded and something comes of that. Um, so, oh, my voice coach. You may remember if I included it in one of these more recent videos before I privatized before the ones that in my more recent videos, the earlier ones have all been privatized. Um, I have gone to 3 consultants, one for voice, one for makeup, and one for clothing style. Um, Now, the one for clothing style, um, actually, I emailed the one for clothing style just to mention that I'd be interested in acting, and I think they're based in Los Angeles. That's why I emailed them. Just, it couldn't hurt. And we seem to be on friendly terms, so it couldn't hurt uh, to keep me in mind. Then the makeup one has helped me quite a bit. Of course, also YouTube videos, and just observing women. That's how I learned quite a bit. Just from observing women, like for example, when they hold a glass, the extra finger would be one of the fingers would be out a little bit, and the way they're hold little things, subtle things that uh, that if you do them, if you're detail oriented enough, if you um, nit not nitpick, if you pay attention to these details, um, it could probably go a long way towards like passing. And more details I follow and so forth, the more elements towards passing, the more comfortable I'd be going out in amongst the public. And the more amazing, the more shocking it would be to be able to do that. One part of my mindset is that I like to shock, not in a negative way, not in a destructive way, but in an amazing, amazing way. I like to blow people's minds. That's the best expression. Not in a negative way, but in a sense like blowing people's minds. Like, how did you do that? And that links up with stage illusions, my fascination for magic. Um, where after the illusion, I'm trying to figure out, okay, I know physics, I know certain things are impossible. How was that pulled off? It's like a game, a mental exercise. Yeah, it's basically a mental exercise. All right. So the third consultant was a voice person, and I did a like a 50-minute or 1 hour session with her uh, once some months ago, and she said during that one session, she said something like, "It's going. You're coming along. You're pretty good at it." Um, and then she gave me some advice. Apparently, when I pause or when I say which I tend to do, I guess, quite a bit, that's when my pitch goes down. My feminine voice goes down, and she looked at my videos, my recent videos, um, since last night, and she must have her email must have come in this morning or last night. I think it was this morning. She said, "I'm progressing." Well, she didn't say progressing, but she said something like, "You're coming along," um, or It's really good. It sounds really good." Um, that's closer to, I think, what she wrote. You sound really good. You've It sounds like you've gotten better with uh, uh, the breathlessness element. Uh, I guess she means keeping your breath steady, or breath control. Um, but it's still that where she detected that my voice is going down, and she recommended something for that I should keep practicing. So with all that, it's an interesting hobby. And I hope I can make something out of it. I've talked about everything I wanted to say in this video, so I'll leave it until next time. Maybe this Saturday. I tend to do this Saturday, and if I do that audition, it's on Zoom, so I'd be dressed up for the audition. So I should be dressed up in as a woman. Perhaps next time you see me in my next video. All right, so long.